It's Wednesday the 23rd. My God, why a kookaburra is so loud at 5 in the morning. Then I'm woken by this shattering crow's call only a metre from my tent. Well, it's a new day. It's time to light up a brew. Bob's already wandered off somewhere. A GPS tracker would be good. Go, I hope he can find his way back from the shower block. Oh yeah, here he comes, freshly shaved and showered, bright as a button. Meanwhile, I'm slothfully slacked in one of Bob's camp chairs, which is terrifyingly rickety. I actually fell out of it last night, much to Bob's amusement. Anyhow, I'll just keep journaling while Bob fluffy ducks around making breakfast. You know, it's pretty high-level culinary stuff, really. Half a can of peaches on 3 wheat bix and a splash of long life milk. Life's good. This trip's going to be interesting, you know. We have 2 guys who love to plan in detail and think ahead. I'm amazed how we both think of the same issues and make plans separately, only to find the other is doing the same and coming to the same conclusions. Take last night, for example. Now, before going to bed, we cracked open the map and discussed the next day, and then in the middle of the night, I'm laying awake there on my bed, thinking and running through the tide times, and realise that we need to be on the beach part of our trip at low tide and not high tide. So we've got hard sand. Now, to do this, we need to reverse our trip from a clockwise direction that we'd already worked out to an anti-clockwise and drive along the beach in the morning. Yep, I'll talk to Bob in the morning. Well, over breakfast, Bob pipes up and says, hey, I woke up in the middle of the night and thought we had to reverse the direction of our travel to fit the morning low tide. How about that? Well, a quick check of the tide chart and low is at 9:30. Ideal. Well, both on the same page. Well, time for a coffee and toast smothered with honey. Good old Bob kept on forgetting which side of the wire mesh the toaster should be up. As a result, we had burnt toast often and had to scrape it a few times before covering with honey. No one wanted to get into a conversation about burnt toast being carcinogenic. So, off to explore the road to Eurong on the eastern beach, and then north to Hammerstone, Sandblow and Wabi Lake. First problem is to navigate out of Central Station and get on the one-way track system. A couple of times we find ourselves lost. Well, actually, men don't get lost, do we? We just explore new routes. We were guilty of blocking the traffic by our indecision on where to turn. It's complicated, but other drivers look at us like, oh, well, a couple of old grandpas, and they wait patiently. Or we grind our way through the soft sand with huge drops and exposed tree roots quite slowly with an average of about, probably 15 kilometres an hour. Now, from time to time, you get a lineup of young blokes behind us all wanting to show how their Range Rover or their VW Amarok or their Nissan Patrol is fastest. And they are king of the roads. Bob just smiles and says, hey, they can wait. You find a couple of 100 yards up the road, though, there's going to be a widening of the track, and we slide over and pull our rear vision mirrors in, and they squeeze past with a polite wave. Halfway to Eurong, in the middle of nowhere, our mirrors are suddenly filled with this thundering black mass of a tourist bus, like some military monster vehicle with massive tyres and high clearance, breathing fire from its beam lights and high beam lights, and obviously wanting to pass at high speed. Well, might wins and we yield, sliding off into the soft edges as a dozen tourists wave at us from their air-conditioned, elevated, air-cushioned seats, videoing us as we get bogged to the axles. We grimace and graciously wave back. Someone will bless them, just not us today. Eurong is a sight for sore eyes. It's a resort with supermarket, ice, petrol, best of all, a bakery with fresh hot pies. Now, the peppered steak and potato top pies slip down our gullets with the greatest of ease. 10:30, time to move before the tide gets us, come the captain's command. So Bob, the rally driver, puts the heel to the steel, hits the soft sand of the churned up beach access at about 100 miles an hour. I survived the next 30 seconds and we're now cruising north along the smooth beach sand. He sharpens my prayer life, he does. Oh, the clear sky, the blue seas rolling slide by at 70 kilometres an hour as the cool breeze floods the open car. Don't get any better than this, says Bob. Oh, yeah, I think he's California dreaming. Anyhow, we start singing our latest song, you know, Pretty Woman Walking Down the Street. Don't take your guns to town, son. Then I discover Bob has a tape player in his car. Not only that, but he still has cassettes. Can you remember those things? He's got them in the glove box. I refrain from trying one for fear of getting it jammed up. He assures me that he has heard of CDs and actually has one of Roy Orbison's somewhere in the same glove box. We think we can sing better than the CD and continue the fun. You've heard the phrase dad jokes. Well, if you're with us, you would hear us amuse ourselves with grandpa jokes. They are even better. Like Bob had asked someone, "Have you seen the dead seagulls?" As he casually looks up. They instinctively follow and look up. At that point, he absolutely cracks up. They look up for dead seagulls. Oh my God, did I have to explain that? Come on, move on. Aircraft land at various parts of the beach, and we pass orange markers every so often that designate the areas where you need to keep a sharp eye out so no one lands on top of you. Well, we soon discover that the air tour operators have vehicles that block off the traffic just prior to the plane landing, so relax. Hey, keep your eye out for Cornwall's road access, comes the captain's call. There it is, we scream by. Bob does a big sliding U-turn on the beach, pretending he hadn't missed it at all, but wanted to approach from the northern side. Yeah, right, mate. Well, we hit the soft sand at speed and keep going. Remember, momentum is your friend as we career up the Cornwall's track to the back of Lake Wabi.
Lake Wabi, here we come. What day is it, Ross? What's the date today?
Wednesday the 23rd, I think.
I think you're right.
Oh, I bet a good road, mate.
On the Lake Wabi track. I
Yeah.
think it'd be so good.
Oh, how good is this? Only missing is the white line.
All that white sand in the middle. Should be able to see that.
Sounds like a helicopter over the top, but it's not. It's that corduroy. Now, Lake Wabi is gradually being eaten by the Hammerstone sand blow that's moving under the constant bombardment of the southeast trade winds. Now, we enjoy the observation from the viewing platform high up on the western side before heading off looking for the remnants of the century-old historic Mackenzie Jetty. Just a short distance south of Kingfisher Bay Resort, and apparently Prince Harry visited last year. But no, the road is closed to us mere commoners. Ah well. During the 1900s, right through the 1980s, Mackenzie's jetty was used for the timber industry, transporting Kari pine and Saturday logs for furniture, and blackbutt and tallow wood were hardwoods for general construction, and hoop pine for plywood. Anyhow, back at Central Station, the night routine sets in, all is quiet, and till someone spots a huge snake slithering under our car. Well, torches flash back and forth, and Bob quickly identifies it as a python. He's immediately recognised as the snake expert and continues the illusion by entertaining the tourists with scary snakes in your tent stories. We all watch this harmless carpet snake, about 2 metres and a bit long. It's barely as thick as your wrist, wriggles across the sand and through a patch of undergrowth toward this young couple occupying the tent next door. Now, the poor girl was definitely not happy with this big slithering monster in close proximity. And we watched the entertainment as her boyfriend tried to settle her anxiety by attempting to track its every movement over the next hour or so. Oh, dear oh me. She did not want to go to bed until that monster was contained. The snake just wanted to get away from us all. Meanwhile, as the stars skip through the treetops, Bob and I discuss and solve 100 problems of the world. And thinking of the hysterical couple next door, tell each other of scary experiences we've had over the past 70 years. Well, the eyelids close and Wednesday fades to black.